Right then, the best 11, 1980, 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, 2010s. The 2020s, I'm going to leave that one, I think, because we've got several starlets who could be jumping into that. So we'll have to do that at the end of the decade, perhaps. Right then, so 1980s, starting off with the manager, Tommy Coakley. Happy to get that promotion. Fourth on the stats. But Alan Buckley, Milk Cup semi-final, promotion, and 42% win percentage. Alan Buckley, manager of the 80s. Goalkeeper, got to be Ron Green. Right back, Brian Caswell, Peter Hart, Graham Forbes, Kenny Mower. Dave Sorella's close in there, but that's the four I've gone with. The midfield, Mark Rees, fantastic. David Priest, Craig Shakespeare, super talent. And then I've got fond memories of Willie Norton, so he gets in there. Up front, Alan Buckley, player manager. We're going to just about get him in there. Alongside Ned Kelly, David Kelly. Don Penn, perhaps, should have been in there. And if we're really talking about big guy, little guy, we'd have had Ali Brown or Trevor Christie in there. Right then, 90s. Chris Nicholl or Ray Graydon. Chris Nicholl, best win percentage of the lot, 45.86%. Got Walsall back promoted at first asking and kept us there. Ray Graydon at a higher level got us promotion, got relegated, then got promoted again. Overall win percentage is lower, 39%. Can we go against Ray Graydon? I think on this occasion, Chris Nicholl gets the nod. In the 90s, keeper, got to be Jimmy Walker. Right back, Chrissy Marsh. Then we got Aid Vivash, Ian Roper, and Neil Poynton. In the middle, Jeff Perron. Yes, I have been convinced he was a winger. His cross, of course, legendary for Roger Bolly's overhead kick. In the middle, workhorses, but great quality, Martin O'Connor and Dean Keats. And on the left, cheeky Darren Rack. Up front, the best partnership of the 90s, got to be Kevin Wilson and Carl Lightbourne. Right then, into the 2000s. Again, you could be counting Ray Graydon in there as super manager. Of course, he was a super manager and he is a legend. But alongside Richard Money, again, promotion at first attempt. Average win percentage, 43%. League 2 champions, 2006 and 7. Going with Richard Money. Keeper, Clayton Ince. What a colossus. Chris Marsh, Anthony Gerrard, Scott Dann, and one of my favourites, Ziegler Aronaldi on the left. In midfield, Paul Hall, Vinnie Samways, Pedro Matthias on the left, and then Dean Keats or Martin O'Connor. I think I'm going to go Dean Keats. Sorry, Martin. I was going to get him on for interview. Probably I want to come on now. Up front, Andy Rammell alongside George Lato. Fantastic. 2010s, Dean Smith comes out the top of the managers there. A torrid time for Walsall, but that was a highlight in 2015. Keeper, Neil Etheridge, superb quality. Then we got a bit of a surprise. Nicky Devlin, right back. Centre backs, Andy Butler and Dan Scarr. And on the left, Andy Taylor. Used to like him. Rico Henry, of course, did quite well. For the midfield four, bit of a mixed bag, really. Adam Chambers, got to be in there. Oztuma, absolute legend. Jamie Patterson was flourished under Dean Smith. And then who's the other one to make up the four? Wes McDonald or Romain Sawyers, who's possibly rejoining us. Up front, Elijah Adebayo, Tom Bradshaw, gotta be. Right then, so how do we get an 11 out of them? So, right then, manager. He's not made any of the individuals, but Ray Graydon, for what he got out of our players, I think, overall, he doesn't make the decade one, but we'll put Ray Graydon in as overall manager, even though he's got the worst win percentage. Does that make sense? It is all subjective. Keeper, Ron Green, Jimmy Walker, Clayton Ince, Neil Etheridge. Jimmy Walker. Jimmy Walker has to go in there. Best right back, Brian Caswell, Chrissy Marsh, Nicky Devlin. I like Brian Caswell, but Chris Marsh makes the cut. On the left, Kenny Mower, Ziegor Aronaldi, Andy Taylor or Neil Poynton. I really, really like Ziegor Aronaldi, but Kenny Mower has got to be in there. Right then, at the back, Peter Hart, Graham Forbes, Adi Voivash, Ian Roper, Anthony Gerrard, Scott Dan, Andy Butler, Dan Scarr. Well, after that goal against Rochdale, Scott Dan, I know we shouldn't judge defenders on their goals, but Scott Dan and I think go Anthony Gerrard as well. Again, this it's tough. It's tough, isn't it? Right then, in midfield, on the right, Mark Rees, Jeff Perron, Paul Hall, or Wes McDonald. This might be against popular opinion, but for me, absolutely loved him. Unbelievable. Mark Rees. On the left, Willie Norton, Darren Rack, Pedro Matias, Jamie Patterson. Sorry, got to go Pedro there. Pedro Matias, absolutely loved him. In the middle, David Priest, Craig Shakespeare. Is that not the perfect partnership? Martin O'Connor, Dean Keats, Vinnie Samways, absolutely superb. Adam Chambers, Oztuma. I can't knock Oztuma in, can I? I'm going to go David Priest and Oztuma. Can't believe I put Craig Shakespeare out. And up front, best front two, Alan Buckley, David Kelly, Kevin Wilson, Carl Lightbourne, Andy Rammell, George Lato, Tommy Bradshaw, and Elijah Adebayo. Who's my front two I'm going with? Do you know? I'm stuck. Can I have four up front? No, you can't. All legendary, really. All legendary. Alan Buckley was largely more 70s than 80s, so he sort of count him out a little bit. David Kelly, Kyle Lightbourne, George Lato played at a higher level. Andy Rammell, so amazing. Elijah Adebayo and Tom Bradshaw. I think we're going to go George Lato, Georgie Lato, and who else? Kyle Lightbourne. He's going to be my one to complete it. Right then. So how about that for a run up Ray Graydon, manager, Jimmy Walker, and then Chris Marsh, Anthony Gerrard, Scott Dann, and Kenny Mower. In the middle, Mark Rees, David Priest, Aaron Ostuma, Pedro Matthias, Carl Lightbourne, and Georgie Lato up front. Right then, that's it. That's my best 11s. I hope you've enjoyed that series. If you want us to do anything else similar to this, let me know in the comments. But we are going to be into the action very soon. So, more joy or more pain? Let's hope for the joy, shall we?